So Catalan people, they're extremely, that is the big comparison, and I was shocked the first time I arrived here because I saw as a big contrast. And Catalans, I think they are more wise into this part. In fact, in the whole Spain.
And so what ends up happening as a result is that they
Is a positive thing. A negative thing is like the way the Spanish people do things here. Spain is a country that got one of the lowest rates of people that don't have kids, basically.
How would you describe the Spanish, or better say Catalan people here in Barcelona?
Yes, I'm from Galicia, that is the northwest of Spain. I was born there and I know the culture very well. And I also spent a lot of time in Madrid and Catalonia. There are a lot of differences. Spain is very small, but the difference among place to place are huge. Comparison with other places, right? Catalans are in general more shy, reserved, always talking in general because there is everything everywhere. People told me that it's sometimes difficult to enter in a group because they are not unpolite or rude, but they already have their own groups. Then people told me that it's difficult to get to maybe meet friends or to become friends with someone, mostly in the jobs and some places they can get, it's difficult to get to know them well. But they are good people. Once you enter in the community or the friendships, it's forever, and they are honest and they are nice. But yes, it's true that comparison with Madrid, people are very open. You go to Madrid one day, next day people are asking for your phone, are inviting you to a party. That's not going to happen here as a common way of behavior. They are more reserved and it takes more time, and maybe you have to work more to have friends that in other places that you don't do anything and people talk to you. That is not going to be the normal way of behavior for the Catalans. Comparison with like the south of Spain, you go one day and you already have 20 friends. Here is going to be a little bit more complex, but you can join a lot of clubs or, of something that you like or you are interested, and then it will be smoother and easier. I don't know anyone who has no friends here.
How would you describe the Catalan people here in Barcelona?
Catalans don't really get a break by foreigners. I think it's funny. I moved out. I lived somewhere else for 24 years, and I was very young when I moved out, so that molded me, and it changed who I was or how I was raised. I came back, and I can see it very clearly who I was meant to be if I had stayed here all these years, and who I have become instead. I'm not saying that I'm better or worse or anything, but I am different than most Catalans in that sense. I think any Catalan that lives overseas notices that, and they change, right? I think Catalans don't get a break because of there's that nationalism, and then there's that strong sense of identity, etc. Also, Catalans go to the same school their whole lives. They grow up in the same neighborhood their whole lives. They have jobs that they keep for a long time. And so what ends up happening as a result is that they form these really strong bonds with people that they've known since they were very little. And it's very difficult to break those bonds, and it's very difficult to open those circles to allow for foreigners to come in. And I follow expat groups on the internet, and I see the pain of people that come to live in the city where they may think that Catalans are not friendly because it's difficult to break into those circles. So I think Catalans get blamed for being unfriendly because of that, but Catalans are really loyal with their childhood friends and with their family, and they follow really old traditions, and so they do the same tradition and celebration year after year after year. And they have, this one is with family, this one's with friends, this one's, and it's really hard to break up with those traditions and open up to allow for new and different things. Um,
Is a positive thing. A negative thing is like the way the Spanish people do things here. And I'm talking about, for example, time wise. They're very laid back. The timings, the everything. What they do is they're doing late. I can give you some example. For example, Spanish people they believe they go to work, but the most important thing in life is holidays, time out, um, the weather. Okay, it's more about concentrating. I think it's more about to get a balance between working your career and then enjoying your life. They're really into enjoying their life and not putting much interest on the others. That's like a very characteristic thing about the country. Well, Catalan people, they're definitely for people who didn't haven't done a research about in what region are you landing. Uh, it's because in Spain, Spain is run by regions. Every region they got the president. Every region they got the rules. Okay, it's a very particular country because the whole country is not go ahead all in one. Okay, and then there's two regions in particular, Catalan and Basque country. They're very different. Forget about stereotypes of Spain. This region is completely different. They got their own language. They got their own culture, and you can. I mean, if you compare a Catalan to someone from the south of Spain, there's nothing to do. I mean, yeah, they speak Spanish, but not many things in common. The same as people from the country is even a more extreme example. They speak a super real language. The culture is completely so different. So I think if you want to make friendship here, or even working wise, many companies that run only by Catalan people, or for example, to get a job in the public system, you need to speak Catalan. So it's about getting into the culture. What I'm gonna say is a bit, but it's not more about getting to the Spanish culture. It's to get into the Catalan culture. There is one thing to clarify here is like Catalan, for example, left wing, very open minded, very multicultural. Uh, well, for example, if you go and meet Catalan people, what we call it here downtown, I mean, I call it downtown, but it's Ciutat Bella areas where what we call it the old town, yeah. You will find very alternative people, Catalan people, very open-minded, super friendly. And there's another thing. This is not. I'm not criticizing, but I deal a lot with them. It's not the same uptown Catalan people, super conservative, and it's going to take a lot of time to get into them. But after that, fantastic people. But believe me, to cross that line, it takes time.
Of course, everybody is different, so that's the first thing. Like, it's a sort of disclaimer I want to say. So Catalan people, they're extremely generous, but they're very shy or introvert. So they're introvert and they will not focus on you, or they will not look at you the first, the first moments, but they need their time. However, when they know they can trust you, they're great people. They love their culture and they love nature, cooking. As of course, this happens also in other parts of Spain, but in Catalonia, there are specific, dishes and specific traditions. Of course, Catalan people, they love partying and celebrating saints and things like that. And, these kind of celebrations are a big thing for them. An example of this is in Barcelona. There's a celebration for every neighborhood. So you get Gracia, Festes de Gracia, Festes de les Sants, Festes de Poble Sec. They will try to include others to their traditions and the things they do. For example, L'Hospital Sant Pau, which is very close to Sagrada Familia, it was originally a hospital made for poor people. So it is in the Catalan culture, it is in the Catalan idiosyncrasy to help others and to improve their lives as much as possible. Of course, they're also art lovers. We have many examples in Barcelona.
And then how would you describe Galicians? People
Yes,
where you're from?
Galicians are very, very generous. In general, they are about giving, like they also about food and about drinks. In Galicia, drinking like beer is like almost a law. Like everything is about drinking. You can drink wine also, but it's about going out a lot. First time I arrived to Barcelona, I realized that people here was not going out to clubs as in Galicia. In Galicia, where you were in the university, you were like going out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and if you were not going out one day, what's happening? Are you okay? Are you sick? And here people are more into not going out too much, not as maybe spending that much of money, but going with their group of friends to maybe to the mountain. Here there are a lot about the mountain and exercising, all of that. And Galicia is about partying, eating and drinking and having fun. That is the big comparison, and I was shocked the first time I arrived here because I saw as a big contrast.
Can you also say something about Madrid people?
Yes, Madrid, they are maybe in the middle. Madrid are also very open and very into the party. In fact, if you work in Madrid in a company, most of the days you can be invited for your colleagues to let's go to have a drink after work. And maybe 1, 2 days or even 3 days is happening during the week. In Catalonia, that is not that normal. Maybe you get to go once a month because, yeah, but it's not common. But Madrid is very common. Part of having fun is very into the Madrid, the south of Spain, even Galicia. Yeah, Galicia and Madrid, they are also very proud of their tradition and history. But I feel that they are more into maybe not thinking too much about what you're spending. They are more into, yes, let's have fun today, tomorrow. I don't wanna think too much. And Catalans, I think they are more wise into this part. In fact, in the whole Spain, most of the entrepreneurs are in Catalonia, and that is part of the history too. And they are not, they don't show off as, for example, in Madrid. In Madrid, you go there, and most of the people, you think they are going to a wedding. And here you go to the subway, people are with flip-flops or normal t-shirts. You can see also in the way of like they get dressed, it's a huge difference. They think that in Barcelona it's about they are more bohemian. But Madrid, no, they are more classic.
Yeah.
I think they appreciate life almost like Spaniards do in a way. Like, I don't think there's a big difference. Although if you're from here, you would notice differences. I think people from the south and Madrid, etc., maybe more gregarious, more open, party more. There's a thing that we say here in Catalonia that's called seny y rauxa, which seny means your brains, basically, and rauxa means your desire to party. So there's an expression that says the Catalans combine the seny and the rauxa. So we like to party, but at the same time we work hard. Just like it's kind of like work hard, party hard, you could say, and that's a good way to describe Catalans.
You would say compared to people in other parts of Spain, Catalonians also work more, have a strong work ethic.
They do have the reputation for it, but it's a little bit unfair to say so. I prefer not to say because I don't really know for sure, but they do have the reputation for working harder. So I think in the US, my perspective, in the US, everyone's an expat because people rarely grow up and live forever in the same community that they've been at. I mean, there's a handful, but for the most part, you meet people that are from all over the place in the US. So I think in a way, people in the US always behave like expats. They are always in need of friends, and it's really easy to make friends in the States because of that need that we have, to forge connections and friendships with people. And so it is easier to make friends there. But here, people are not so desperate to make those friendships. But once you do break into that circle, let's say that you learn the language and you speak it well and you can crack into that circle of friends, I think that they'll be your loyal friends forever. Yeah, I think they're just as human as everyone else, you know. So
Spain is a country that got one of the lowest rates of people that don't have kids, basically. And also about the ideal of marriage. Okay, I don't know. No one pushed me, or no one's pushing anyone. But I don't know. At the end of the day, you're asking friends, or you're asking, I don't know, people from work, from different types of environments, and I believe that they agree that just what we call it here, pareja de hecho, what is an agreement that we are together, that's fine. I'm not sure if it's because they don't want to spend money on a marriage. I'm not sure if they got some doubts about the future, okay? And also because of the cost of life, I believe so. Because of the cost of life, people, these new generations, they want to enjoy their life, and kids, they're not helping. People think that Spain is a religious country, super religious or Catholic country. No way. In the south of Spain, when we see people, I don't know, or I don't know, these celebrations, okay, only happen in certain areas of Spain. I got married to a Catholic woman, okay, from Poland, very strict Catholic, and it was like, what's going on here? No one goes to church. No one cares about beliefs, okay? Only certain people, but very, very limited. So the idea of Spain as a religious country, no.
Catalan, they have their own literature, their own language, their own food, the gastronomy, their way of thinking, what they got in Spain through the wars. And they are very into traditions. They love to celebrate of the cultural traditions that they have here that we don't have in the rest of Spain. And also they are very proud in general of the history, of their history and of their language. And that causes some conflicts, that has caused some conflicts that you can see in history, even if the last years we have some complications because some people, they want the independence, and that created some conflict with all the rest of the people who were living here, because Barcelona received a lot of people from all the places all around Spain, and then they are also Catalans, but they were not born here. Then that was a big conflict. It's still there. Now we are living in calm, but it's still there because some people want the independence. And also Catalonia has a lot of power comparison with the rest of Spain, together with Madrid. And you can see here the architecture, and you can see a lot of nice things because they have money and they have a lot of help in the past. And of course, a lot of people from the south of Spain, other places, came here to help and to work hard. But there were a lot of how do you say, like innovation. In Barcelona, it's about innovation. The way the streets are made, an architect, Dominic, thought about that, and they are totally different from the rest of Spain. And you see also like the modernism in Barcelona. We don't have that in the rest of Spain. Then the buildings are totally different. There were a very strong culture of architecture. The way of thinking, it was like even very open because they have this possibility to go to France because it's too close. They celebrate different things, like for example, Christmas is very different here. They have this trunk that they put like a red hat, and they have to hit the trunk in order to get the presents. They call it cagatio. Cagatio is like saying that a man is cheating, but is cheating gifts. Then a child hit with a with something there to have the present, right? They have like a blanket covering, and then the presents are there. This is only in Catalonia. We don't have that in the rest of Spain. Here, people don't celebrate a lot Valentine's Day, because they have the day of the book. The day of the book is international, is national. Is everyone in Spain celebrate the book day, but here, because it's San Jordi, and Jordi is Jorge in Espanol, George. For them, for Catalans, is one of the most important days of the year, and they cover the streets of flowers, of like most roses, and also books. And the tradition is like the men give flowers to the woman, and the woman give a book to the man, but it doesn't have to be only romantic, can be co-workers, can be friends. Yes, it's about reading, and it's about story, Catalan story, and also it's about like friendship and love.